Is mine on? Okay. For some reason, this is almost as nerve-wracking as speaking at graduation last year. I'm Madeleine, for those of you that don't know me, and I graduated from Montgomery High School last year. Like most students, most seniors, I was looking forward to all the experiences and activities that come with being a senior. And that was until I was diagnosed with melanoma. What happened was basically I had a mole, told me I was fine, and then in January of 2012, I had a lymph node in my neck, and they told me I truly had melanoma. And what needed to be done was I needed to have an 8-hour neck dissection in which they would take all the lymph nodes out of the left side of my neck. And this was obviously very scary. And during that time, I really began to turn towards prayer and Bible scriptures, and my mom and I would oftentimes read a daily devotional called Jesus Calling. And after successfully going through the surgery, many of you here at the Cove began bringing my family meals. And this was one of the first times that I saw God working through the people around me. And after that, I began interferon treatments here at Kaiser. And many of you continue to bring my family meals. And you probably think it's just a small act of kindness, but it meant so much to my family, and it just took so much stress off of us, especially my mom, who did all the cooking. Then, the week before graduating, I was told that the cancer had spread to my liver, which then makes things a lot more serious. And they told me that I would need to go to Riverside to receive biochemo treatments. Here in Riverside, or there in Riverside, I was away from all the support I had. Everyone at church, a lot of my family, all my friends, and God did not fail to bring people to support me. From the first day of my first treatment, we were in the elevator, we had our hands full of pillows, blankets, everything you could think of that you would need for a week in the hospital, and some man turned to me and said, "Put your trust in the man upstairs." And I didn't even know this guy. He was just telling me to trust in God, and I thought that was pretty amazing. Within several hours after that, I was, on some anxiety medication, but I was wheeled to an operating room where they would put in a central line in my neck, which basically is a little thing that allows different chemo drugs to be given to you at the same time. And this, to me, was one of the scariest parts about being in Riverside, just because I don't like any of that type of stuff. And they wheeled me into a room, and I'm by myself. I don't have my mom. I don't have anyone. But God sent me someone again, so I wasn't alone, and I wasn't scared. And this guy's name was Fiel. My mom likes to call him Phil. And he would come right before the doctor would come to do the operation, grab my hand and say, I'm going to say a prayer for you. And he would just pray for me and tell me to have peace and to just trust in God. And it was, he did this every single time I came, and it was pretty amazing. Then, on the second trip to Riverside, I met two more individuals. The first was a man by the name of Sal, and he was fighting leukemia. And one day he came into my room with a mask on, and still wanted to, communicate and talk with us. And some of the advice that he gave me was, you can only feel sorry for yourself for so long. Then you need to face it. You can face it using either your faith or your will to live, but hopefully you have both. And this was just so powerful to me because it's someone else who is fighting, and to hear that, it was just really encouraging. And then the second individual was a nurse of mine by the name of Glenn. And oftentimes I would be saying, "Get me out of here, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore." And she would come and she would pray with me and just always gave me encouragement. And something that she said to me was, "I want you to think about how you would never know God as your healer unless you had the need to be healed. He wants you to know Him as your healer." So once again, here's someone who's just helping me get through this. And every single time after that, I always asked for her and asked if she could be my nurse. By rounds 5 and 6, which were my last 2 rounds, I had no desire to be in Riverside and did not want to go there. And sure, my aunt and my dad can all agreed that it was not fun, and we'd kid around. I'd be throwing a fit like I was a 5-year-old. I'd be saying, "Get me out of here," kicking and screaming. And during these last 2 visits, the pastor at City Life Fellowship would call me right before I went to bed. And it was during these few minutes of prayer that I was actually able to find peace and to feel really close to God. And to me, this was one of the most powerful times when I was able to see God working through other people. This past Friday, I was told that the cancer has grown in my liver, which is very hard to hear. I knew this was going to happen. And, but, I just went through 4 rounds of a clinical trial, and unfortunately it didn't work. But I know that God has a plan, and that He's going to bless me with many more amazing people. And all right, got that over with. But one of the scriptures that we've always read and that I, really like and is on my blog, if anyone's been following my blog, is Isaiah 41:10, which says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand."